Good morning. Welcome back to Crimson Glass on YouTube. It's morning here for me. It's about 8 a.m. and I am getting started on my day because this is my last day of spring break. It's my last day of just like rolling out of bed at 6:42. Somehow in my life I turned into a morning person. I think adulting made me do it, and I'm really mad about it. When I was in college, I used to like oversleep my 9:30 class, and now that I'm an adult with money and a job, and I have to be somewhere at like 7:30 in the morning a lot. Today, it is Friday, as I said, it's my last day of spring break. And I am not going to be able to dedicate like full days to writing, so I'm trying to make the last 3 days of it really count. Since the last time we talked, things with Mad World have really changed, and I filmed a video on Wednesday kind of explaining it, then I didn't upload it, and now it's, it's out of date, so here we are. I think on Thursday when I last made this video, I said that I was cutting a storyline because I remembered that I was in charge of the story. And I remembered something else very important too. I'm also in charge of my own schedule. So I took a look at where I need things to be. The reason why I feel a little crunched on Mad World and Broken Girl is because I had made promises to my readership. I had said these things would be out by this date. I had said Broken Girl would be out, and I was a little bit looser on that, thank God, sometime in May. It would be no later than May 31st, which is my birthday. And that worked out, and it looks like I'm actually going to be able to have that out May 5th, which is a week earlier than I really didn't think I was going to have it until May 14th. So, Mad World, I very much want it out in the fall, because as you guys know, it's a trilogy, and the trilogy has come out in the fall of each of the last years. Book one, I started publishing in November, I think, or October, whenever I finished Bittersweet. And then book two, I started in August and finished in November. So, like, I very much want to keep it in that era. I knew I knew it was unlikely that I was going to be able to have it ready for August. So I was like, I think in January, setting a date 9 months out, I can make that happen. And so the good news is that nothing that's happened with Mad World has changed that. Because I like to set 2 deadlines for myself. Actually, I really kind of set 3. I set a hard deadline, a soft deadline, like imaginary deadlines. An imaginary deadline is like, if your life goes perfectly, here's when you might expect to finish this. And a soft one is like, it's more likely you're going to make it, but you might miss it by a couple, it's just kind of like, maybe you'll make it by this if things go relatively okay. And then the hard deadline is, if it's not done by this date, you have to look and shove things around and, get yourself together. So initially I had set the soft deadline as May 15th. And a hard deadline of June 15th. The soft deadline I have pushed out to May 31st, and then the hard deadline has stayed at June 15th. And that's really good news, because what that actually lets me do is have my kind of a longer production schedule. I do have to think about what I want to do this summer, because I have tried this month of April, to do 2 things at once with 2 different projects. I've tried to go into an alpha draft of a new novel while finishing up revisions and post-production on another novel. Nobody should do that. You should not do that. And I thought it'd be okay because, I was going to be on spring break. I'm working from home. So it might have worked out. But I forgot how hard revisions can be. And it's not like how hard they can be. It's sometimes feeling like yesterday I wrote 5,000 words for Broken Girl, and I didn't write a single new chapter. I just wrote 3 scenes in 1 chapter. I added another scene here, and then just in the last 6 of the chapter, I did a lot of expansion, which is what revisions are, and revisions are almost like a second writing process. And I think that I haven't been given that enough respect. So Mad World has kind of suffered for that, and I have kind of looked at and thought, if I'm going to be in revisions, I can't be in anything. I can't be in an alpha draft for another series. It's just not possible. What I can probably manage is Discovery. I can manage maybe being in Discovery. So Mad World, I went back to Discovery for this. And I actually worked out for that. So what I am doing is I went back to my entire process. I went straight back to brainstorming. I've probably talked about this, but the more you do your process, the more you write, the more you learn about what makes you write. And I am always looking for that thing that makes me want to come home and write 5,000 words in a sitting, that makes me annoyed when I have to stop writing to go use the bathroom or go feed myself, or just when I just need to stretch my legs. I want to get this done. And that is kind of for me as a writer personally, that's the key, is I have to be writing when a book starts to flow with me, I write it in about a month because I just need to get to that moment. And I did that with Broken Girl, and I've done that with the last books in the series, as I wrote them all in about a month. And then it took me a while to edit, but like the bulk of the first draft got done in a month. And until I can figure out what triggers that process, it's always going to be harder for me to write projects. I think I'm closer now that I've been doing these videos and really talking about the process. I think that I know what I need to do. So this last week on Monday, I went back to brainstorming. I went back and just went right back to the beginning. What do I need to do with the story? With the full knowledge that it has to be not dealing with Rick, but Liz and Carly dealing with Rick. Like, you have to put the right characters in charge of their own storyline. And once I kind of did that, that was a little bit easier. And then I took a look at exactly how did I go from brainstorming to outlining. And like in the past with outlining, I just used to start and like write in chunks what I thought would happen, and then take that and then start a whole new text document in Scrivener saying what order they should happen. And like that is a completely inefficient process, which means I end up writing like 15,000 words, and like it's not useful. So how can I still have all those steps that are important to how I write, but integrate them and make them more efficient? So what I did was I took out the idea of anchor scenes, and I took that process out. And this is something that Lani Diane Rich in How Story Works talks about a lot. She talks about the pacing, and anchor scenes basically just help you pace your story. And for me, I plan them before I write, because I find that it's easier for me to visualize the conflict because of what the anchor scenes do in the conflict. And I will link her How Story Works podcast and website and Chipperish Media and all this in the description, because it has been incredibly important to me. And right now she's actually doing a series about characters, and she's coming back to How Story Works and redoing it and kind of like just like expanding it. And I'm so excited to sit down and take notes, because I am an incredible dork, and the first 3 episodes have been amazing. So I took the anchor scenes, and then I tried to just take the same document and make it go from brainstorming to outline to plot sketch all in that one document. And then I found a way to take that and make it into a easier way to doing chapter breakdowns. So basically, Mad World is a little bit stalled in the sense that I had to put it aside yesterday completely. I didn't work on it at all yesterday because I needed to get some real mileage behind on Broken Girl. I was really behind. I wanted to be at chapter 20 by Monday, and it's Thursday, and I'm only on chapter 14. And it's just taking longer because I always underestimate revisions. So today's plan is to hopefully get back to Mad World, but I don't know. It's going to be on the schedule for tomorrow, because by tomorrow, if everything goes right, I will be back on schedule at Broken Girl and ready to go. So, but Broken Girl is coming out May 5th. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but like May 5th is like a lot sooner than it used to be. So that's your Camp NanoWriMo update. I am writing. I just haven't been writing Mad World as much, and like that's okay, because I think that I was being incredibly ambitious, thinking I could do revisions and a first draft on 2 different projects at the same time. Like I made a choice and it didn't work out, and it's okay, because you need to learn to be flexible with your own process. I have learned that I need to put part of the discovery process, part of the making sure you're ready to actually write the story, is I got to write the first few chapters before I can actually say, yes, we are doing this, because that's usually the point where I figure out none of this is going to work. And it doesn't matter how much I plan it. If the actual conflict in the story doesn't work, it doesn't matter. So, all right. If I work on it today, I will come back and do another video tomorrow. If I don't, I don't. So I will see you when I see you. Have a great Friday and a great weekend.